All right. So, in this lesson, we are going to be talking about insulin resistance and carbohydrates and how they are all playing into why it is possible you're not losing the weight. So, I want to discuss carbohydrates first of all. So, you've probably heard of the term simple carbohydrates or complex carbohydrates. Now, this is elementary to you. Bear with me. We'll get through to the good stuff shortly. So, a carbohydrate is basically anything that is not fat or protein. So, a carbohydrate is a carrot, a carbohydrate is a fruit, a grain, it can be a cracker, it can be pasta. Those are all carbohydrates, as well as candies, any kind of sugar. Those are all carbohydrates. So, it is basically any food that is not a protein or a fat. So there are two main sources of carbohydrates, simple and complex. So what makes a simple carbohydrate and what makes a complex carbohydrate? Well, it's the molecular structure and how your body deals with it. So a simple carbohydrate are things like table sugar, honey, and fruit, even things like white rice or white potatoes, white pasta. And so why are these simple carbohydrates? Well, all carbohydrates are broken down into sugars in your body. Now, I know you probably have the image of table sugar. Well, it is kind of like that, but it's the way your body utilizes the carbohydrate. It has to break it down, the molecular structure, take out the fiber, and what's left is the energy, and the energy is always a form of sugar. So it could be sugar, it could be honey, it could be various forms of sugar. And there's actually 6 different, they're FODMAPs. So those are the different types of sugar that you have in all carbohydrates. So when you eat a simple carbohydrate, it gets broken down very quickly, which is why you get energy from it within minutes of eating it. Now, a complex carbohydrate, on the other hand, has a lot of processing to do in your body. So if you've ever gone on a fitness regime or had a personal trainer like myself, and they have put you onto like complex carbohydrates, it's because those carbohydrates take a very long time to process. And so you stay full much longer. Now, they still have sugars in them because once you break away all the fiber and all those things, what's left is a sugar. And the sugar from the carbohydrate is what your body uses for energy. But with the complex carbohydrates, it gets released at a much slower rate because it takes a long time for your body to digest it. So, what does this mean when it comes to insulin resistance? Now, this is what over 50% of women have when they enter into menopause. Basically, in a nutshell, when you eat a carbohydrate and your body digests it and processes it, those sugars from the carbohydrate end up in your bloodstream. Now, your body knows exactly how much insulin to pump into your system, and insulin is like the messenger to your body that says, hey, here's a carbohydrate, this is what we need to do with it. And then it sends out a message to the cells saying, this is how much is in there, this is what we need to do, and then the cells act appropriately. Well, the problem with insulin resistance when you enter menopause is that the insulin is not being released at the appropriate amounts. So the cells are not getting the correct information. And when anything in your body goes awry, for example, you have an artificial sweetener your body does not know what to do, you are inhaling chemicals from, let's say, hairspray or paint or literally anything, any this picture in the background here, clothing, anything. Your body has to do something with that chemical. It just doesn't disappear. And back to my point, what does your body do? It starts making fat cells, and then it puts those chemicals or that excess sugar inside the fat cell, and that's where it stays. So that is the reason why you gain weight in menopause, because you become insulin resistant. The insulin is not being produced at the appropriate amount. The cells are not getting the information. And so what does your body do? It has to make a fat cell, and that's where it lands, and that's where it stays. Typically on your stomach and on your hips.